episode of the Hot Mic here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the effing outlaw, John Rocha here, joined as always by the Sneider, who is celebrating being up 3-0. His Celtics being up 3-0 in the NBA Finals. Jeff Sneider, how are you, Jeff?
I'm good, Johnny boy. Am I on a delay here, John? I feel like my internet is bad.
Yeah, a little bit. You're a little wonky, my man. I don't know how many times I got to tell you to get an Ethernet cord. I don't know when you're gonna listen to me.
I mean,
it's like $10 for an Ethernet cord.
I think this is better. I think I just had to close Twitter. Okay.
Yeah, you got to pay for the higher end, man. You got the you got to get the 1 terabyte, dude. It won't hurt you.
Dude, that's what I'm paying for. No one gets what they pay for anymore. They're like, if I'm getting half of that, then they're probably like, yeah, that's where you should be. Right? Like, it makes no sense. It's like, well, no, why am I paying for? That's just how it is. Yeah. No one getting what they pay for.
Welcome to the Old Man Hour, where we complain about things that are wrong with the world. But yes, absolutely, you're right. I mean, there's so much to get into. But no, we got so much to get into here in the world of entertainment. But first, I do got to. Jeff and I were talking about this off mic, but then we just started the show. We'll pick up our conversation. Bro, your Celtics 3-0 up in the NBA Finals. I thought for sure Dallas would come back and win in the third game, and they made a run at it in the fourth, but in the end, the Boston shut him down once Doncic fouled out, and Doncic was a moron in some of the things he did near at the end that cost, I think, the Mavericks the game. Nobody else could pick up the slack. So, what are you feeling? Is it over? Is this a sweep? What's your feeling on this?
Well, he fouled out because he got tired and he's slow, and when you're tired and slow, you get lazy on defense and you reach.
It's true,
and you block.
Yep.
So, I think that last call was a legit call. I don't see what Dallas was so upset about. I mean, I bet that I did expect Dallas to win one of these games, and so I wouldn't be surprised if they managed to steal this next one and the Celtics won it on their own home court. But I also wouldn't be surprised if it was a sweep, because I mean, we're just like clearly the superior team. Like, we just have way more depth than them. They have 2 guys, and that's really it. They don't even have that third player who can step up and be like a solid third. They haven't had that this series.
Yeah, even when Luka went out, I thought for sure Hardaway could have come in and, dropped some threes and surprised everybody. In the playoffs, how weird shit happens sometimes when the star player goes out and the replacement comes in, and because they are like, I got nothing to lose, they start yanking up shots, and next thing you know, they're going in. But even he couldn't do anything at the end, and that was that for them. And Kyrie has been, I don't know, man, absolutely absent throughout these 3 games. Last night he had some good moments.
He was good last night.
Yeah, but in the end, I mean, he didn't do shit in Boston, and I think that's what really sank them in the first 2 games, is not having even a second compadre to carry the weight a little bit for Luka. It's a shame.
Tough atmosphere to play in for Boston for any athlete, let alone a man named Kyrie Irving. So,
True.
I was talking to John. I got a call from my brother last night.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, we got to get the tickets. Got to get the tickets right now. And I was like, dude, what are you talking about? And I had a certain number in mind where it was like, if you can see your favorite team, and this is our favorite team, win a championship
your favorite, yes,
on your own home court, right? Me and my brother. Then you almost have to do it. You almost don't have a choice. If you now, I can't afford this. I can't afford it at all. So, but my brother's like, listen, I'm not going alone. Like, he put it on his credit card, and I was like, I'll work out some kind of payment plan with you.
Right.
And I'm praying to God that it's a sweep, right? So that I don't have to pay this ridiculous ticket price. And this is also for like the last row. And he was pissed. He was like, well, dude, let's just go down further. And I was like, well, I can't afford up here. So if you want to go down here, I definitely can't afford it. Like, I'll be paying you back for like the next decade. It's the wrong profession, John. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I've seen those ticket prices, brother. They're not cheap. I don't think most professions could afford the tickets.
I was telling him, though, like, I went to Game 7 when I was working at the Wrap. I think me and Tim Dowling, the writer of Role Models, and Just Go With It, and a whole bunch of other movies, we went to go see Game 7, LA versus Boston in LA.
Right.
It was $600 a ticket for like the rafters, like last row of Staples. And I was almost relieved that the Celtics lost that night, because I was wearing like all green. And if they had won, I would have been like murdered. I would have been straight up murdered inside of that stadium.
Probably. It's so funny because last night, as I was finishing up watching the game, the Lady Outlaw went to sleep early. ESPN had that Celtics versus Lakers 2-part doc they did with Ice Cube and Donnie Wahlberg representing each side of the conversation. And that is such an engrossing thing. I was up till 1 a.m. rewatching that documentary because you forget how the Celtics-Lakers rivalries were so amazing and how great the Celtics used to be. So as much as I may hate the Celtics, it's awesome to see them back in the conversation here. And
it's the best rivalry in sports.
Oh yeah, 100%.
John, it's yeah. Like I mean, I just wanted to check if that was what your take on the greatest.
Oh yeah, 100%. In terms of American sports, right? You talk about soccer is a whole other conversation, but like, yes,
fair
in terms of American sports, absolutely. Lakers versus Celtics, and I totally forgot how the Philly fans were chanting "Beat LA," or the Boston fans were chanting "Beat LA" when Philly beat Boston to go play LA. That's how deep the distaste for the Lakers goes.
You know why this series is so big, but then because this gives us 18.
Oh, right, exactly. So you're there.
We break the tie with the Lakers.
Right,
they have 17.
Right. And doing it at Kyrie's expense must be such a joy for a lot of Celtics fans after that stormy time that he had there in the Garden. By the way, where is TD Garden versus the Boston Garden? Is it the same thing that they built it just on top of the Boston Garden?
Yeah, it's like next to it or across the street.
Okay,
or whatever.
okay.
Same general area.
Because I was asking Lady Outlaw because she lived in Boston for 2 years or 3 years. She was there in college, and so she was talking to me about the Boston Garden and how she'd drive by there, and it was down in the kind of rattier area of town. But now this new garden seems to be a kind of a renovation area. People are more gentrified in that area. Would you say?
Well, I think once TD Garden came in and it became a much bigger, nicer thing than the Boston Garden was, then then it attracted nice business and all that.
Yeah, you got the Hall of Fame there too, the Boston Sports Hall of Fame. So anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about, though. I know we had a fun conversation about the Celtics there, but we're here to talk about a lot of news going on in the world of entertainment. I see already so many people sending in super chats. Thank you very much. Super chat Streamlabs are open. Send in your questions, thoughts, and comments as we go along. We got a lot to get into today. So the address is right there above Jeff's head for the Streamlabs, and I will put it in the chats in the description of the video as well. But the first thing we should talk about, Jeff, we got to jump in to Marvel's Blade here. Humberto Gonzalez reporting this at The Wrap that Yann Demange, who was the current until yesterday director of Blade, has now parted ways with Marvel. It is said to be, quote, entirely amicable. Man, this film has been around. I call this the Black Gambit because this film has been around for 5 years now. We've gone through Bassam Tariq. We've gone through a handful of screenwriters here, from Stacey Osei Kuffour to Bo DeMeo, sound familiar, to Michael Green, to Nick Pizzolatto, all to Eric Pearson, who's writing it now. And now we've got a new director, and this is supposed to come out next year. And now, Jeff, this is very much like now all up in the air. Were you surprised by this? And what do you think is going to happen next? I tweeted out Jordan Peele, but you seem to think no, and other people seem to think no. But what do you think is going to happen next? And why is this happening? Why did he leave for real?
Why did he leave? I mean, they let him go. He was difficult.
Really? You're saying that on
the is anybody reading this newsletter? Is anybody reading it?
No, but I mean, I have to let you say it because I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I know. I'm fucking with you, John.
What you're hearing is Yann Demange was difficult to work with, and that's why they let him go.
Yes.
Wow.
It had not been cracked. They're looking for, a new writer and director, and that could be the same person. We'll see, but I mean, I don't know. Like I called this. I said that there weren't going to be 4 movies next year, right?
Yeah, true. You did call that. We did discuss that on the show.
Yeah. It was, and they definitely positioned that in the media that you saw.
Yeah,
it was like, don't forget. Like Bob Iger actually said that we're not on the hook for all that anymore. Right. Like we're on the hook for 2 years. So like we're not really under any pressure to make that date that we announced.
Right. It's about quality.
Duh. Yeah. I mean, and it is, and it's like, who gives it? Like, I don't know why this is proving so tough to crack, because it seems like one of the easiest sort of concepts. It's not some like It's just like a fucking dude with a sword who's killing vampires. Like, what's so tough about this?
For 100 million,
maybe it's how to integrate that into the other plans for the MCU. I don't know. And that's kind of the thing. It's like you're not just making a movie, right? You're trying to create a very specifically shaped puzzle piece.
Yeah.
Right? Like, think of a puzzle and how like a puzzle is cut. Like you're trying to create a piece that is exactly that shape that fits exactly into this larger puzzle that is the MCU. So I'm sure it's maybe a tricky assignment on some fronts, but clearly these weren't the guys. I mean, Bassem Tariq, that was obviously it's a weird choice anyways. This one, I thought it might stick, but yeah. I mean, were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised because this has been a snake bit production. And as I said, we've seen this with Gambit. The Flash went through all this shit to finally come to fruition, and then it tanked. So, like, there are just some projects, man, that are snake bit and never stop being snake bit. Even when you finish them, there's just so much negativity around it for whatever reason. And it seems like this Blade film has just been the latest one that we've seen, and all the karma and the signs and the energy of the universe is telling you this is not going to happen, or if it does happen, it's not going to be in the end what people want. Because you can crow all you want about quality. If it comes out and it's terrible, people will be like, well, or not that good, or even flops. People will be like, well, what was the fucking point of this quality pursuit you were under? So you've set yourself up to kind of have a little egg on your face if it doesn't work out. But to me, I tweeted out Jordan Peele. I think it'd be great to go that route. Writer, director, do his own thing, put a horror spin on it. His movies make money. Let's see what he can do. Some people suggesting in the chat, Scott Derrickson. What about Issa Lopez after that fantastic True Detective run? I think it'd be fun to see Issa Lopez, a woman's point of view on Blade, a woman of color like her. I would think it would be really interesting to see her point of view on Blade. So there's a lot of avenues to go here, but who wants to take it on, Jeff? You know how creatives are superstitious. And if they look at this and they go, do I really want to get involved in this? I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Do you anticipate anybody coming to be the director?
I have no idea who they're talking to or who they're looking at. But to me, this project only benefits from more time in the oven because it distances itself.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It distances itself from the Coogler movie with Michael B. Jordan.
Oh,
right? Right now, those movies are slated to open in the same year.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact is, Marvel got beat.
Yeah.
So you might as well just hold it off until 2026. And that's maybe generous at this point, but you hold it off till 2026 and say, okay, well, now this is the Black Vampire movie of this year.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get in the same conversation necessarily as Coogler's movie because it's in the same calendar year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it might not even be till 2027, as you just said. Like,
right, it could be 2027. Exactly.
You have a 2-year window, or because, like, if you follow up one right after the other, that sometimes people go, you know what? I already saw it the first time. Why do I need to go into Blade? You'll have the Marvel thing on it, but dude, what if these movies come out this year and next year and they're not that strong, or Marvel's still kind of having a little bit of mixed reactions to its stuff, and then you've got a Blade film coming? It starts to become like, what's the point? And I can't believe that they can't crack it. I wonder if it's the shifting sands of, the changes and behind the scenes and what they want to do with this and who they want to put in the movie, who they want to take out.
It's a different kind of movie. It's a vampire, right? They haven't really done anything like it. I mean, they've made how many movies now at this point? 30, 40? Like, I forget how many there are, but
yeah. But they did the Wolfman one for Disney Plus, so they have veered into this territory. And it was a good film,
but that's such an outlier, right? So even if I grant you that as an example, that's 1 out of 40, right? Like, it's not something that comes natural to them, maybe,
right?
So, but yeah, I really have no idea what direction it's going to go or who's going to step up and get it. What I have heard, though, as far as Marvel stuff goes, is that I'm not so sure that the Sean Levy Avengers stuff is going to work out.
Whoa.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that's like a fact, but like,
hold on, be specific. You're saying that you don't think Sean Levy is actually going to be directing that Avengers 5 like he was rumored last week when we were talking about it. You think this was just kind of conversation and it's actually not going to happen?
I think that from here, like he just made a Marvel movie.
Yes,
right.
Deadpool.
And I think if you're Sean Levy, like I said, you finish strong on Stranger Things. You stick the landing there.
Definitely.
Don't get distracted. And then I think you go to the other fiefdom, which is Star Wars.
Whoa.
I mean, he's developing a Star Wars movie. I think if you're him, you go from Deadpool, finish Stranger Things, and then do your Star Wars movie rather than do another Marvel movie.
Okay. But under the same umbrella, right? Star Wars, Marvel. So would there be?
Yeah, they're both Disney, you know, and he could always say, all right, I'll do an Avengers movie and then I'll do the Star Wars movie. But like, that's a lot of big movies back to back and everything. And I just feel like he just did the Marvel thing. So why not play in a different sandbox? He could always go back, but I'm not getting that feeling. I think that they're going to end up hiring somebody else, at least on this next movie.
Do you think they should hire the same person for the two Avengers movies? I mean, that's what's been the case before.
That depends. That depends on what the plan. You know, are they shooting them back to back? And is the story? Is it two halves of the same story, or is it like two kind of very different stories? You know. You may need a second director just because you want to be prepping the other movie.
Yes.
During, you know, while the other one's going. So hard to say, but if I had to put money on it, I would bet against Levy doing Avengers.
Okay. All right. So do you have someone else? Do you think they would step in the way or step in the void there if Sean was to step aside?
Step aside from what? Avengers?
If he wasn't going to do the Avengers 5 situation.
No, again, I really don't have any idea.
Okay. All right. All right, so what's your final guess on Blade in terms of who could step in? Let's say if they called you up and said, Jeff Sneider, listen, between you and I, behind the scenes, you don't get to put this in the newsletter. Can you suggest a couple of filmmakers that you think could step in here and take over the Blade situation and break it? Who would come to your mind, regardless of race or gender or orientation or whatever? Like, who would you want to see take on Blade? Who could step into this mess and get people excited again for it? I don't put you on the spot. But
I think if you're Marvel, an interesting hire might be Gina Prince Bythewood.
Ooh, especially because she's done comic book stuff with the old guard. Yeah, that's not a bad suggestion. That is not a bad suggestion.
I mean, it's like at this point, you're not going to get someone big coming in to take over this project at this point. Like, you know, you're going to want someone who's a little hungry and a little ambitious and is like willing to, you know, go with the program maybe a little bit, but also like knows how much this would mean to, you know, their career.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, and I have no idea if she's interested or if they're interested in her, but like, it was just something that came to mind.
What about Cord Jefferson? Does he make a jump from American Fiction after delivering that speech and saying you don't think that's a jump he would make?
All right, I was waiting for Jamie. I was waiting for Jamie to throw out a name. Cord Jefferson? No, I would not say Cord Jefferson. Cord Jefferson is a guy who just like won an Oscar, right? Did he win?
For the screenwriting? Yeah.
I mean, no, you don't. You go the auteur or Tarantino route. Do your own thing.
Okay.
Like you've written your own ticket at this point. I don't think you need Marvel right now.
Okay.
Unless it's a big gig. I don't think it's this one. I mean, again, you know, maybe he has a relationship with Mahershala. I don't know. But Jamie thinks. All right. But this guy, this is another guy who, again, and I haven't talked to Jamie because he's just texting me right now.
Yeah.
But I've heard this guy's difficult too.
Who's that?
But he is going to be hot after this summer, and that's Ty West.
I don't know if I like that idea. It's a weird jump, but all right, maybe.
He comes from the Benson and Moorhead mold.
What about Adil and Bilal? If they're not going to get Spider-Man 4, jumping from Bad Boys to do a Blade film could be really interesting for them, don't you think? That could get. I mean, they're hot now with how well.
We talked about.
Yeah.
They are hot, and that's why I included them on that Spider-Man list, which was my list. It was not a official list, which I feel like the internet misinterpreted as like, no. But no, I said I don't think that they will be back at Marvel anytime soon. I got corrected on that.
Oh, okay.
When I put that out there, sounded like they were potentially removed from the editing room.
Oh, I got you.
Okay, on Miss Marvel.
Right, on Ms. Marvel, right. Okay.
So, no, I don't think it'll be them.
Derrickson could be interesting. Having done Doctor Strange.
Derrickson's busy. He just launched that production company, and he's doing Black Phone 2, and like
right, the sequel.
I feel like he has a lot of stuff going on. I don't see. Again, they didn't bring him back for Doctor Strange, so like,
radio silence.
God, I hope not. I've just really not been a fan of the feature work, but Ty West again is the kind of guy who I think is talented, and Maxine looks good. Like
sure.
That could overperform this summer.
What about Donald Glover? Donald Glover as a writer, director coming in. Don't you think Donald Glover would be interesting to kind of take this thing over, keep him in Marvel's good graces?
No. Stop.
All right. When it happens, I don't want to hear.
When Donald Glover writes the Blade movie, is that what you're saying?
He was writing a Deadpool animated series when they took him off it. This is very possible he could do it.
That would be wild.
What about Spike Lee? Spike Lee's Blade? Fuck off. People would line up around the corner for that. Come on.
Did he do something?
The old man doing one of these black superheroes? I think people would love that shit, man. If Spike Lee
was going to do one of those Marvel movies for Sony. I remember that. Remember, what was it? Night Watch?
That's right.
Something like that. Yeah. I mean, I have thought about that, but
Spike Lee's Blade. That's how you title it. Like William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. It would be Spike Lee's Blade. That's what it would be.
I mean, I think that would be fucking cool. I just don't see that happening. I don't see Spike Lee joining the Marvel machine.
Spike, if you're watching, I'm just saying, do it. I love you.
It's like having like an Italian superhero and being like, well, it's gonna be Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese's who's an Italian superhero? I don't even know.
I don't know. If
Do they have them? Are there Italian superheroes? And can we create one?
I don't know. Super Mario. Anyway. It's a me. Anyway, let's move on. Keep sending in your Streamlabs super chats. What do you all think? Yeah, send in your Streamlabs super chats. Who do you think should be the director of Blade? And make it like legitimate suggestions that could be fun for us to explore. Let us know in the Streamlabs and super chats, which we'll get to later on in the show. Let's move on to this. The Rock, brother. The Rock and Disney apparently have themselves a first look deal. Dwayne Johnson and Danny Garcia with $7 Productions. They signed a first look deal with Disney to develop films for theatrical and streaming. This is coming to us from Variety. The projects will possibly be vehicles for Johnson to star in. And interesting, the deal is not strictly limited to film content. So, you could show up in the parks, could show up in direct-to-consumer stuff. You've got family cruises under the window of Disney as well. So this is an interesting situation because $7 has worked with multiple studios. And last we heard of $7 in terms of playing around with power in Hollywood, they were trying to strong arm their way into the DC situation and essentially be the James Gunn and Peter Safran before it was James Gunn and Peter Safran running DC. Now they're signing this deal with Disney as Moana 2 is about to come out. We had some casting news today. So what are your thoughts on this? Is this Dwayne's way of solidifying himself at a studio and at least guaranteeing himself something here as he's going forward?
I thought this was a super interesting story, and I didn't know. Did you see that line in the story about the Dole Whip?
Yes. You want me to read it for you? Because I think it's funny.
Read that sentence, because here's the thing. I don't know if that's Matt Donnelly, my pal Matt Donnelly, with a great scoop. I'm going to give him credit tonight in the newsletter.
Boom.
I don't know if that's him editorializing or if that's a fucking talking point that they gave him.
Ooh.
But read it aloud to people.
You want to see Johnson's smirking face on the Jungle Cruise ride, then stop off for a Dole Whip infused with Terramana tequila? What about a Rock-branded boot camp class to tone up your dad bod while the kids hit the water slide on Disney's Titan liner? The possibility.
Dude, first of all, You should be reading like radio ads for this. Like, that was good, John.
Thank you. Hire me, people, please.
That was very good.
$150 an hour.
But that's where the money is. You talk about fucking making like a movie for 10, 15, $20 million. How about we supply all the fucking liquor for Disney World and for Disney cruises?
Good night.
Like we become the official tequila of Disney cruises and resorts. Like, dude, this fucking guy, Dwayne Johnson, say what you will about him.
I know.
You know, like showing up late, like him and Danny Garcia. She's like a shrewd businesswoman.
Yes.
Right.
Like,
these people are very smart business people.
I think Cavill's going to regret dropping her as his manager. I mean, because she is, as you said, very shrewd. She doesn't suffer fools. And I mean, how many women are strong enough to divorce their men and then take over their production company and run it? Like, there's not a lot of women. And Danny is certainly someone who you don't mess with. And their interactions and the people I've spoken to some people who've worked for $7. They're very happy working with Dwayne, and they enjoy the company overall. So this is such a smart move. As you said, he was a bit on the downturn, certainly Black Adam, other things, going back to wrestling, got a bit of a negative reception, turned it around. People loved it. And now solidifying himself with Disney, he flew a bit close to the sun. Now he's doing an A24 film. Now he's setting himself up at Disney. Always been a smart, shrewd businessman. And clearly that name, that brand still carries weight enough for Disney to go in business with him. So, yeah.
So here's the big thing about this, right? Okay. If this is like, okay, Disney is now like my movie home.
Yeah.
Well, what movies is Disney making?
Marvel and Star Wars.
Can you see Dwayne Johnson in Star Wars?
I don't know if I could see Dwayne in Star Wars.
The answer is no. The answer is absolutely not.
I'm thinking of a movie fight. I was in a movie fights years ago on the defunct Screen Junkie. I think it's still defunct Screen Junkie channel. And I remember somebody tried to lobby in the movie fights for Dwayne Johnson as a Jedi, and it would be insane to even see that. So I agree with you. No, but Marvel is a very, very distinct possibility.
That's what I'm getting at. I mean, yeah. That's how I read this. I mean, a first look deal with Disney.
Man,
this is setting everything up for him to join the MCU.
Yeah.
And if he just played a superhero, what do you think he's going to play in the MCU?
A superhero or a supervillain? Oh, he just played a supervillain / hero, anti-hero, super.
Right, he walked the line. He walked the line, but like,
I mean, Sentry is a possibility. Well,
I think you play a villain.
Yeah, you think he plays a villain?
I think you play the villain of
Fantastic Four,
of Avengers and everything. I mean, he'd be an interesting Doom for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
He'd be an interesting Doom, but at the same time,
yeah.
Whatever they're planning for like the villain in the last Avengers movie,
yeah,
maybe that's him, like the ultimate boss. Like, I mean, that's what it's all leading to. Obviously, it's this Avengers saga that they're bringing back 65 characters for. Like, why? How could it not lead to The Rock of all people? Who's it supposed to lead to? John Malkovich?
No.
He's in Fantastic Four. I forgot.
What if he takes over as King? I mean, that could be a way to kind of make that all happen.
Maybe he could take over as King, Dwayne Johnson. Who
it's
fucking
a possibility.
knows?
It's a possibility.
But that's how I looked into, not looked into, but that's how I read that.
Yeah. Fascinating to me. Very fascinating. But dude, he's a survival.
Indiana Jake says The Rock cannot act though. I was like, I forgot about all the people in the MCU.
I disagree with that. He can't act. It depends on the project.
Yeah, dude. I honestly, I think Smashing Machine is going to turn a lot of heads. Like, it's going to change people's opinion of him in the way that Uncut Gems did for Adam Sandler. Same director, by the way. Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I just think it could be a whole new chapter of his career.
I also think he's smart in this way. Remember, he slid into Warner Brothers at a time when Warner Brothers was teetering with the DC universe. They weren't that, there were issues. Here is Marvel, Disney teetering a little bit with the Marvel situation, sees a bit of unsteadiness, goes in there, solidifies himself, and Dwayne ain't a wallflower. So I wonder how this is going to work out if he does start to move into the Marvel universe, him and Danny and their $7 Productions. What will they want to pitch and put forward? And Dwayne has certainly talked about playing superheroes on both sides of the fence of DC and Marvel. So it would not surprise me to see him end up somewhere in the Marvel universe down the road. A lot of people mentioning Beyonder. Beyonder could be possible.
But again, he's at like
the Secret War stuff.
I don't think he's in any position right now to make those
Right.
demands.
Right.
It's like, well, I want my production company on. It's like, no, dude, you gotta do a little bit of career rehab, maybe, and that's what I think Smashing Machine is kind of all about. Yeah. It's about pivoting, and I think you got to use Marvel to your advantage and let it rehab your career, and just go with what Kevin wants. You can't start demanding, I want this and this, and we're gonna have a credit on it. Like, no.
It's fascinating, though, too, when you look at the two things, because I mean, he's a board member now over at TKO with Netflix, making that deal for Raw and the WWE. So, like, he's in business with Netflix and he's in business with Disney. So this is an interesting situation that Disney was okay that he already had a pre-existing relationship with Netflix for the things he's doing with the WWE and possibly movies as well. And then now he's going to do stuff here for Disney. It's a fascinating situation for him. His entire family for the next 35 fucking generations is set for life, for God's sakes. I mean, they're just set now with the amount of money they might be able to make here. And I think he's going to slide into doing Disney films again. Remember The Game Plan, all these other films that kind of kept him afloat for a little bit till he had his explosion through Fast and Furious and other projects. Well, look, he's teetering a little bit. He's got some, as you said, he's got to do some career rehab, go back and do these family films at Disney that people, want to see you smile and want to enjoy, you want to fall in love with you again, repair the damage, and then boom, you're off to doing something even bigger. So very smart move there by The Rock and Danny Garcia and $7 to get in business with Disney. I think it's going to work out for them. And I like Jungle Cruise, so I would have loved to have seen a sequel with those two. They have great chemistry. Ooh, okay. Are we done with that?
You want to take a break and talk about her when we get back?
Let's take a break. All right, we'll take a break right now. And after this, we will get into some more stories. Keep sending in your Streamlabs and Super Chats. We will answer them at the end of the show. We'll be right back right after this. Just wait till you chomp down on those sun chips. All right, what do you want to talk about now? What did you say you want to go into?
Emily Blunt.
Oh, wait, go ahead, please. What do you got on Emily Blunt? What do we got here?
Oh, you didn't see the story today?
I did not, dude. I've been recording stuff all day today, and I'm not even done. I still have 3 or 4 more hours of recording. So go ahead. What do you got here?
Johnny boy, Emily Blunt in early talks for the female lead in the next movie from one Steven Spielberg.
Ooh, nice choice. Way to bounce back from a underperforming film in The Fall Guy to end up leading a Steven Spielberg movie. What is this about?
Now, John, which movie did you just say? The Fall Guy?
Yeah.
Who was hired to direct Jurassic World initially?
Oh, shit, I forgot. Who was it?
David Leitch.
David Leitch. Right.
Director of The Fall Guy.
That's right.
And why was that?
Because
Steven Spielberg was a big fan of The Fall Guy.
There you go. Oh, okay.
Spielberg was a big fan of The Fall Guy. He hired David Leitch to direct Jurassic World, right? Okay.
Yes, true.
And I told you, or as I reported in the newsletter, something happened behind the scenes, and Leitch, lost the job.
Yes,
before its deal closed or whatever, and it went to Gareth Edwards.
Okay,
and so it made sense to me. Like, and it's also like for her, once you've worked with Nolan, who are you supposed to work with? Like, where do you go from there?
Yeah.
And well, there's one guy to go to, that's Spielberg. Right. The other two, in my opinion, are like Fincher and Tarantino. I guess Scorsese as well too.
Sure.
But like other than any other than those guys, like it's a step down from Nolan. So
right. It's interesting. So it's for Universal Pictures. They've dated the film for May 15th of 2026, which is right in that summer tentpole area. And they're speculating that it's a two-hander of a film, so it would be her and someone else. She'd be playing one of the leads, and the film, the story's by Spielberg, and the film has his longtime collaborator David Koepp penning the script. So, do you know anything more beyond what we're seeing here in the deadline write-up on this? And are you hearing anything more? And do you like this choice for her to go with Spielberg after what happened here with The Fall Guy?
Yeah, with her after her first Oscar nomination, really, for Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
No, I think this is a great choice for her. I don't know much about the project. Like you said, it's a UFO movie from David Koepp. I don't know if the other, they say it's a two-hander. I don't know if the other lead is a guy.
Right.
Doesn't have to be, right? I think we all maybe assume it would be.
Could be.
Doesn't
She
have
could
to
be
be.
playing a mom again, like she did
If it
in
is a
Luke.
guy, is there a for sure? Let's say that's what it is. It's about a couple, or whatever. I mean, listen, that's how a lot of these movies are ultimately.
Sure.
So, who of her age would you like to see opposite her?
Ooh, man. I've always been a fan of their pairing in the Adjustment Bureau. Her and Matt Damon is like a Midwestern couple dealing with a UFO situation. I mean, that's not a bad. I just saw the Instigators trailer today. I loved it. So I don't know. Could be fun. Those two together, don't you think?
No.
Okay, what do you have?
I think he's too old for her now.
Oh my Lord. It's Hollywood, bro. It's Hollywood, bro.
No.
Richard Gere's out here romancing Winona Ryder. It's Hollywood, bro. Tell me, where do you got?
I think he's a little too old for her. Wow. There's a guy I'm going to name in the newsletter tonight, but I'll give you listeners an idea. Ooh. There's a guy, Spielberg. I don't think he's ever worked with him, and I could be wrong.
Okay.
And I mean as a director, because God knows how many things Spielberg produces. Right. And I don't know if he's ever been in a movie with Emily Blunt either.
Okay.
But he's one of the best actors of his generation. Yeah. And that's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, could be interesting, Jake and Emily. That's an intense pairing. Man. Okay.
I mean, he's worked with Fincher, like...
Sure. He just came off that Roadhouse movie.
He's worked with Mendes. He's worked with Mendes, like... I don't know. He's worked with Denis.
Yeah.
I just think if he's good enough for these guys, it's not that he should be good enough for Steven, but I would like to see him and Steven maybe work together, because I think that they're both, obviously fantastically talented.
What about Adam Driver? No. Her and Emily Blunt, him and Emily Blunt, around the same age. You said age thing. You brought up the age thing. Wouldn't that work?
I don't see it.
What about Bradley Cooper and Emily Blunt? That could be interesting. Cooper seems like a Spielberg actor. Like that seems like.
Well, he's working with Bradley right now.
That's what I'm saying. So
on Bullet.
Oh, right. If that's going to happen, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Which is still in development. But like, I mean, it could be Bradley. It depends what he's looking for right now.
Well, look, let's talk the real truth here, right? I mean, Fall Guy underperformed. She is the co-lead with Ryan Gosling in that movie, and not co-screen time clearly, but co-lead in that movie. They're both names above the title.
Sure.
So, are you looking at Emily Blunt and saying, "Well, can she really get people to see this movie?" Or do you not care because it's Spielberg and that's the reason people are going to go, and he doesn't need to cast someone that could maybe guarantee people showing up?
I'm sure he'll go after like a big star. I mean, whether it's again a male or a female.
Yeah.
But I see what you're getting at. Like, does she need a little help, or is she not?
That's all I'm saying.
Could she be the bigger star of the two? And you're right. I think it's fair to question that.
And in no way am
Gyllenhaal isn't also isn't box office gold either.
Right. Exactly.
That's just me. Yeah, I put forth Gyllenhaal knowing full well like he's kind of like has a spotty track record. John, do you know the last live action Spielberg movie to open in the middle of the summer?
Shit. War of the Worlds? Minority Report? What do you got?
No, it's a little bit more recent.
Oh, okay.
It's after those movies.
What else has Spielberg done that's action oriented? I don't know. You tell me. What is it?
Indy. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in 2008. I said live action, Mike Joyce. Mike, these guys are pointing out that the last summer movie was the BFG, came out in the middle of July, but that was animated.
Nobody remembers that movie.
Well, it was animated, so that's why I said live action. You gotta listen. Guys gotta listen. Oh, listening clues. That's a showdown.
Yeesh, Crystal Skull. It's no surprise it doesn't leap to mind. So
this is going to be his first big summer movie in Actually, no, more than that.
That's incredible.
20, it was 18 years, right?
That's incredible. Okay. All right.
Is the BFG live action? I consider it animated.
Well, no, it's animated. It's fantastical. Oh, Ready Player One. When did Ready Player One come out?
That was March.
Okay.
Wait, I mean, guys, I was probably so high when I saw the BFG, which was horrible, a horrible movie. Yeah. I do remember that much. But wait, was it live action?
I don't think it was live action, but maybe it was.
It's one of those like.
I didn't see it, so
I don't remember that.
It got so many bad reviews. I didn't go near that thing.
It's live action. Yeah.
No,
they're saying it's live action. I totally forget
right now, and it is. Yeah, I mean, it's live action mixed with animated. You know what I'm saying?
So the BFG, but like everybody around him is regular. So I guess live action.
I mean, if you look at like this is, I mean that, yeah, okay. I guess that's. I mean, that's live action.
Wait, is the whole movie are all the other characters like that?
I don't know. It seems that's. I mean, that seems. Oh yeah, well, that's live action right there.
That's live. Okay, so I was wrong. I will take the hit there. I'm just like I'm remembering all these like giants and things, and I was like, this is like fucking computer. Man. Come on.
I don't know. It's kind of in that middle place, like where Lion King is.
It's live. It counts. Okay, I was wrong.
All right.
I was wrong. And you know what? I'll fix it before I send the newsletter tonight. I was
there you go. Good job, y'all. Y'all corrected Jeff.
Good catch. Sometimes I need an editor. Sometimes.
All right. Let's move on. We got to move on. You want to say more?
Yes. Let's spend, guys, let's do another 15 minutes on whether BFG was live action or not.
I don't want to lose people. All right. Ryan Gosling is shopping.
I don't want to lose people. The algorithm does not like BFG talk.
You'll see they'll just go down. Ryan Gosling is shopping a zombie movie here, Jeff. I thought he said he doesn't want to do dark films anymore, but now he's shopping a zombie movie here. It is based on a 42-page short story by the twins Adam and Daniel Cooper. It's called I Used to Eat Brains, Now I Eat Kale. You talked about this. You reported this, that this will take place in a world where humans and zombies have learned to coexist and zombie lives matter. It has a horror comedy approach like Zombieland had. So this apparently is a bidding war going on. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you like this idea as a next project for Gosling?
I mean, I still haven't finished the short story. I need to. I started reading it.
It's only 42 fucking pages, man. Come on, guy.
I know, but I have to do it on my phone. It's like a PDF.
Oh, Jesus.
Jamie, mark the timestamp to Jeff admitting he was wrong. Yes, I think I mean, it sounds like the kind of high concept zombie movie that he would like choose to develop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like one of those zombie lives matter thing. Like this is not like a horror movie. This is more of like a comedic, like a satire almost.
What's the one that Nicholas Hoult did? Warm
Bodies,
Warm
right?
Bodies, kind of like that vibe, maybe.
Warm Bodies, or Zombieland, obviously. Yeah. But like I got into it with somebody online, right? And they're like, I can't find any record of this short story anywhere. Like you're making this up. Like why, why would your newsletter be like the same, be the first mention of this? And I'm like, it's a newsletter. Like where, like that's where things get announced, like in the news. Like I'm a journalist. I don't understand. Do you think I made up the cover of this short story?
I'm sitting here in my mom's basement in between yoo-hoos, and I'm telling you right now, you're wrong. You're making this up. I would know more than you.
It's so wild what people choose to believe. Like, it's like, are we really living in this world where like people are questioning this stuff? And like,
of course, they're emboldened by other people who fabricate nonsense like this. And so they think they're smarter than you. And it's hilarious. It's like the Schmodown when some people with like 100 followers would try to act as if their movie criticism is on your level or their connection to you is on there. It's not, but you delude yourself because you're in the same room with the person, but it's not. So it's like, you got to understand, people work hard to get into a certain situation, and to accuse them of fabricating shit, that's a serious accusation for a reporter to be accused of, man. It's not a joke.
Oh, dude, every night, every story, it's just like,
yeah,
this is from the guy who reported the Sydney Sweeney thing. Like,
yeah, okay. And those people have like 25 followers on Twitter. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Please.
Yoo-hoos are delicious, by the way.
I'm not not saying they aren't. I didn't cast aspersions on the taste or the flavor or the enjoyment of a Yoo-hoo. I was just saying.
We are pro Yoo-hoo.
Absolutely.
Pro Yoo-hoo podcast.
Sponsored by Yoo-hoo. I have a big old fucking set of Yoo-hoos behind me.
I would drink it. I'd go through 2 an episode.
I would happily be lactose and to deal with my lactose intolerance to drink the Yoo-hoo. For sure.
Exactly. I'd drink 2 an episode and have to flee at the end of this podcast to the bathroom.
Coming up next on the Yoo-hoo Minute, we're going to talk about Ryan Gosling's zombie movie.
Yoo-hoo. I gotta go.
Yeah, but
all right, what's next? What's the next story, John?
Let's. Well, you know what? I'm gonna skip the other one because it's a little too serious. So let's go to Rebecca Ferguson, man. Interesting stuff. You're reporting on this in your newsletter, Rebecca Ferguson, that Idris Elba and Rebecca might be the leads in the new Katheryn Bigelow film, and that she is being eyed for a big role in Peaky Blinders. Some people speculating as the main villain to Tommy Shelby there. So what are your thoughts on this? What are you hearing on this? Which of these two is actually going to happen? And which of these do you think is might not happen, might fall apart?
I think they both happen.
Okay.
Especially because
with Idris?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's like done. I mean, again, I don't know why people hold certain stories. I don't know the choices, why people make certain choices that they do.
Yeah.
I can only make the choices that I make based on what I hear from sources. And
okay,
Jeff's got to eat. So, yeah, I made the decision to report that last night, and it upset some people, but so be it. Really? I World of Real added today because I wasn't sure like what's going to shoot, like what's the schedule like and all this stuff. Here's what I'm thinking. World of Real added today that the movie's going to shoot July 15th.
Okay, the Katheryn Bigelow film.
Yeah, I think he said July.
Okay, I can take a look real quick. Keep going.
Or did he say August? I forget. But I think it'll go later this summer is the point.
Okay.
I think he said August 5th. Fuck. I don't have it.
I'm looking it up right now. Just keep going on your points. I'll let you know.
Okay. I think that they'll do the Bigelow movie this summer.
Yeah.
And then she'll do the Peaky Blinders thing before the end of the year. I think that that's going to be a little bit later this year.
Okay.
Like Q3, Q4 maybe.
Right. Okay.
Well, maybe not. Go Q3 is mid-July or August or whatever. So, okay, so it has to be just like later in the year probably.
Yeah.
For Peaky Blinders, and again, she's not the lead in that, so she wouldn't have to necessarily be on set the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, she's coming into a whole world, so it's like unclear how much screen time, whatever role that I don't even know. I don't watch Peaky Blinders. I don't know the role that they're discussing her for. Okay. I just know that she came up, and I never got an answer from certain parties.
I love Peaky Blinders. I've watched every single season. I think she'd be a great addition. Could toe to toe with Tommy Shelby. Like he's never had a female antagonist other than his own aunt in the film, in the show rather. And so this would be an interesting change of pace. Now there have been female actresses or female characters opposite Tommy in certain groups going against Tommy, but no one's been the lead to go against Tommy that I can recall that was female. So Rebecca can give as good as she gets. She would radiate that kind of ruthless aggression in the back and forth with Tommy. That I think would be fascinating to watch in a movie like this with the dynamic between those two. So I'm 100% down for this possibility. The other one, I don't know. I mean, Bigelow hasn't done anything since Detroit. And what World of Real said, and other people have speculated too, is that Detroit really scarred her and that's the reason she walked away from it. And this is crazy to think about. That movie was 7 years ago. Let you feel the age spots blowing up on your hands, people. And so she hasn't done something in a while. But is this the way to go? Remember that Kate Winslet, Idris Elba movie, The Mountain Between Us or Mountains Between Us? It's an okay film. I don't know if there's that much chemistry between them. I don't know necessarily that I see chemistry here between Rebecca and Idris, depending on what the film is. So I don't know. It's an interesting choice, but I love it.
What kind of chemistry do you mean? Romantic chemistry?
Yeah, possibly romantic. Sure. I love Idris. I think Idris is a fucking great actor. I love Luther. I love all the stuff he's doing. I don't know if I see if he has chemistry with Rebecca, but maybe. I don't know. Throwing it out there. Just throwing it out.
I don't think that there's going to be time for romance in this movie. I mean, this is it's a real-time missile crisis movie.
So he'll be what? Like maybe
there's not going to be anybody sneaking off into closets. Yeah, one of them could be the president. One of them could be the head of. I have no fucking idea. What positions within the government or which White House officials Katheryn Bigelow is looking to highlight there.
Yeah.
And if it'll all be inside the White House, or if there'll be Pentagon officials, or like people, are they going to call like the UK Prime Minister? I have no fucking idea.
Okay.
But. Okay. I'm not worried about the romantic chemistry because I don't think that that's part of it. Like, no one has like romantic chemistry in Zero Dark 30, or
That's true. That's true. Well, I don't know. There was a little bit between Edgerton and Jessica Chastain. You could sense a little bit of something there between them. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Some people asking why it scarred her. It scarred her because it wasn't received well. It had a mixed reception. Even though it's 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, the reception from the audience wasn't that strong, and it didn't do well financially. So it kind of.
What are we talking about?
Detroit. Somebody asked why it wrecked. Why it might have wrecked.
Dude, Detroit was bad.
Yeah.
Detroit's a bad movie, and I never thought I'd say that about a Katheryn Bigelow movie. Detroit was.
Regardless of what our former boss liked to tell us, this is not a good movie. Detroit.
Yeah, I was like, oof, this is a bad movie. So, but it's time to have her back because we do miss her. We do miss her all the same. We forgive male directors all the time.
Please. All the time.
Yeah, come on.
There's nothing in. Never mind. I don't want to say it. Bigelow's highs are bigger than most people's entire resume. So, like, that's what I would throw out there.
This is what I'm saying. Like last night with reporting it, it's like, how many people have won Best Director who are still actively making movies? We're talking about what, 25, 30 people?
Tops, maybe even less.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if you're getting the leads in one of their movies, like you're posting it. I'm sorry. Like, there's no question if I have it from multiple people.
Yeah. Oh, is someone saying that you shouldn't have posted it because it ruined their chance of getting it, or were they upset?
No one said anything. They're just like, listen, it's a long story. I can tell you off camera.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Best director.
We don't need to go inside baseball.
The Daniels, Nolan, Campion, Chloe Zhao, Bong Joon-ho, Cuarón del Toro, Chazelle, Inarritu, Cuarón again, Ang Lee. I don't know if Vinicius is still working.
I mean, he is still working.
Bigelow, who won in 2009, Danny Boyle, the Coens, Scorsese, Ang Lee, Eastwood, Jackson. There's a lot. I mean, Howard,
30 or 40 people, bro. You have to go back to like the 90s.
Yeah.
And then that's when the winners start to dry up, or they're no longer working. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Demi passed or dead because Anthony Minghella and Demi are both in that 90s category, and they passed on. Going into the 80s, Barry Levinson has a film coming out. Oliver Stone still does stuff. Bertolucci, Pollock, Foreman, Brooks. That's when it starts to dry up.
Talking about 40 or 50 filmmakers.
Yeah, at least. So there you go. All right, fair point.
Their next movie is big news.
Yes, true. All right, Julia Butters, Freaky Friday. Talk about. Okay, look, I love Julia in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I can't tell you how little I give a shit that there's a Freaky Friday sequel coming. But please take it away, Jeff.
I don't care. I just think that she's a really talented young actress, this girl, and Disney was smart to get her. I don't know if the role is like a third lead or if it's more of like a supporting ensemble part.
Do you think she's playing the Winona Ryder? The Jenna Ortega to Lindsay Lohan's Winona Ryder. Do you think this is a triple Freaky Friday?
It seems like it. It seems if I was them, you would have 3 people switching bodies this time, right? And that she would be involved in the body switching. Maybe Jamie Lee Curtis finds herself as a teenager all over again. It's not that exciting if Jamie Lee Curtis is going from grandmother to mother, right? Right. So it's like, okay, Jamie Lee is now a teenager again.
In
nowadays, I don't know how fucking works out.
Yeah, in like nowadays teenager.
Yeah, the girl becomes Lohan and Lohan becomes Curtis. So I think everybody levels up and Curtis levels down. But I have no idea. I have no idea if that's the case.
But isn't this how you protect Lindsay as well? Look, I know we're all trying
to with a great actress. Yes,
we're all trying to redeem Lindsay now, but like honestly, she's not that strong of an actress anymore. She was great in Mean Girls. I love going back and watching Mean Girls, but that Irish Christmas love romance thing was horrific. I turned it off after 30 minutes. It was so bad. So you cast someone like Julia Butters, who is fantastic in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and other projects, and you got Jamie Lee Curtis, who's an recent Oscar winner, That's how you kind of protect Lindsay.
Camouflage, baby. Camouflage.
Yeah, camouflage. You don't give her too much to do. You let those other two carry the load.
Like Luca on defense.
Are you saying you're hiding Lindsay in your own movie on defense?
You got to hide Luca on D.
All right. Let's move on to Robert Pattinson, brother. He is, this is per Boris Kit at THR. He is venturing into even more way out territory after Mickey 17. He is teaming up with Smile filmmaker Parker Finn to remake a 1980s cult psychological supernatural horror film called Possession. I remember this film. Sam Neill was the lead in this film. I remember renting this from the Video World. It was like way on out there in Virginia. So the fact that they're remaking this is fascinating to me. And apparently there's a bidding war between A24, Netflix, Paramount, Sony, and Warner Brothers. So what are your thoughts on this, Jeff? They haven't shot it. They haven't written it. They're just pitching the project around. Oh, what are your thoughts on this? Do you like this as a next step for Robert Pattinson? And how do we get him to do a mainstream movie, man? Is he just going to stay out here in the fringes of, besides the Batman, we're just going to let him hang out?
That's all he has right now is a mainstream franchise. If I was him, you do want to diversify and set up stuff as a producer. And that's what this is right now. Yeah. He hasn't even committed to star in it, until Parker Finn has time to like write the script and everything.
Yeah.
But I think this is a project that is worth remaking. I've never seen the original, and obviously I'm told that the original is like batshit insane. It's like it's one of the movies that I borrowed from a friend, and for years, every time he comes over, he's like, "Is that mine?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I still haven't watched it." So I really need to watch Possession. Yeah. I'm gonna bring it home with me to Boston. How about that?
It's awesome.
And but it seems like the kind of movie it's not. It's like a risk. It's a gamble to remake it. It depends. Are they going to remake it straight, or is he going to be the alien this time?
Yeah. For those who don't know, Sam Neill is a spy who returns home from the field to his wife, who's played by Isabella Gianni, and their son. And apparently his wife asks for a divorce. His wife asks for a divorce, and then they descend into this massive destructive cycle with infidelity and neglect, and then murder, and then you get a tentacled alien creature and doppelganger. So it goes way on out there. And the filmmaker who made this was essentially his treatise on his own marriage that was falling apart. So it could be interesting. Sure. I like this idea.
Yeah, again, I because there's a couple of like those movies like that.
Yeah.
Altered States was another, one that was like always rumored that Pattinson was going to do that, but like I think I've been looking into that for years now. I don't know if that was ever confirmed. I'm sure there's something online about it somewhere.
I've been thinking about starting a show on my channel that is going back and watching like these 80s films that people forgot, like Clan of the Cave Bear, Quest for Fire, Altered States, like these really great out there type 80s films. People think it's all John Hughes movies. Fuck that. There's a lot of crazy out there movies in the 80s that people don't talk about enough.
Right, because of the explosion of VHS.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can make a killing on VHS.
Yes.
And so, people made it with that shit in mind.
Those were so much fun on a Friday going into the video store going, what the fuck crazy bad shit can we rent? It was a blast. All right, so we'll see. We'll keep tabs on that one. All right, Kurt Russell and Yellowstone, brother, man. A lot of rumors here. You reported on this. It says via Joe Blow. Did you give this to Joe Blow? What's the deal here?
No.
Kurt Russell is currently being eyed to lead the charge on a Yellowstone spinoff show. Your thoughts on this? Is this a smart casting, Jeff? Tombstone guy, come on.
He's perfect, obviously. Yeah. Especially if you're building a network that appeals to a certain audience, right? With guys like Costner or Stallone, Harrison Ford, right?
Yeah, Sam Elliott. Yeah.
So it's like, Kurt Russell fits right in with all of those guys. The chance for him to work with Michelle Pfeiffer again.
Yeah.
Like she lends a certain class and prestige to a series. I don't know if McConaughey would still be the anchor of this series, or Kurt Russell would be replacing him as that anchor. Obviously they're very different ages.
Yeah.
So I don't know that he would necessarily be playing the same character unless they'd tailor it to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems like that's a lot of star salaries if you had to pay McConaughey, Russell, and Pfeiffer, plus the other three that are coming back from the other show. So it's like, I don't know that the McConaughey thing is going to work out.
Well, it might be two different things, right? The article I pulled this from, they're speculating that one of the spinoffs in development from Taylor Sheridan is set in it's called 1944, and it's set in 1944, and it focuses on a new Dutton family patriarch from that time, and it's set to explore the Prohibition era of storytelling, and so it could be, that 1944 Elliot Ness type of situation where he is stepping in there as a new patriarch. So then you have Kurt Russell as your tentpole for that particular show. McConaughey is your modern show. It could be interesting to go that route with Kurt Russell.
Right. McConaughey could be his kid years later.
Yeah,
right. Who knows? But I think Kurt Russell makes a lot of sense for the Taylor Sheridan universe.
I agree. Before we take a break, I want to hit two more stories real quick. Jonathan Majors, for some reason, is getting an award for Perseverance. The Perseverance Award here from the Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards. It is, quote, given to an individual who has shown that no matter what adversity they face, they will continue to aspire to inspire. And Jonathan Majors, who of course was convicted of reckless assault in the third degree and harassment in December, sentenced to a 52-week in-person domestic violence intervention program. Jeff, this is a publicist paying for this award to go to Jonathan Majors, and he's going to have to give a speech. So do you think he's going to dance around the accusations? What is the perseverance? And what is the significance of him getting this award?
I mean, you got to have some balls to accept this award. Like
publicly, not behind
Hollywood Unlocked. I don't know. This guy has 150,000 Twitter followers, which is 3 times more than I have. Okay,
that's Jason.
Never heard of him or his site.
Yeah.
He has Hollywood Unlocked though.
Yeah, he does.
and it's just like, does every person, influencer, website, whatever it is, need their own award show? That celebrity, and why do celebrities feel compelled to go along with this?
Come on, they love the stroke, bro. Creative celebrities.
It's wild.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
I mean, the Perseverance Award, like, there's no question. I'm not a cancel Jonathan Majors guy.
You're not.
Okay. No, I think that he should have a path back for sure.
Okay. Isn't this part of the path back?
This is a bad path. like you on principle he shouldn't be showing up to this. He shouldn't be. This is like a stupid thing, and stupid of Hollywood Unlocked and that guy Jason Lee to have done this. Obviously it accomplished it because here we are talking about him. We never have before. We're talking about him on the show along with real celebrities.
Yeah.
I'm just embarrassed by the whole thing. Like, how about his victim?
Yeah.
The woman he assaulted. How about her perseverance?
Yeah. Where's her award
for continuing on? For
running away from this guy. Yeah. Well, where's the perseverance? Yeah. Where's that? Award?
It's wild that we're now giving these awards to people. Like, it's fine for them to come back, and if they win an award for their performance, by all means. But having. What is this award for? The courage to fight against the allegations, or hold his
no allegations. It says given to an individual who has shown that no matter what adversity they face, they will
allegations
to aspire to inspire,
or not allegations anymore because he was found guilty.
He was found guilty,
but
convicted.
So it's just despite what he faced, he faced a trial and was found guilty by a jury of his peers. I don't understand. He overcame this.
Designer Christian Louboutin will also get the Innovator Award. Cardi B will get the Inspiration Award. And Fat Joe will get the Culture Award, a rapper, Fat Joe.
Take a class photo.
Tiffany Haddish is hosting this thing.
Yeah, what are you doing, Tiffany Haddish?
Being held at the Beverly Hilton. And one of my favorite representatives in Congress, Jasmine Crockett, is going to get an award. So will Ben Crump and Debrat, who I love.
Why are these people showing up for this Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards presented by Jason Lee? Why? Who is this guy?
I know we got to do some more investigating on this guy, because I guarantee you Jonathan Majors 2 years ago wouldn't have returned a call from this guy at all, but now he's going to take the award because he needs any kind of good press he can get. So it seems weird to me.
At Magazine Dreams release, we'll give you an award.
That's never going to be released. I don't know. All right, one last thing, just to show you that we're fair. Let's go to Kevin Spacey crying on Piers Morgan about the allegations of sexual abuse brought by dozens of men. He has denied this, though he admits that his behavior, quote unquote, pushed boundaries. He said he was feeling guilty about, quote, being too handsy with people against their wishes in the past. And he claimed he didn't know at the time that they were uncomfortable with the situation. and chafed at the word grope being used, but he cried about the fact that he says he's broke, which I never believe a famous actor when they say that shit. And he says they're foreclosed because if you're broke, you can't even go on Piers Morgan, bro. And they're foreclosing on his Baltimore home and taking it away from. And I don't know if he has like 20 other homes. Who knows? So, Jeff, what are your thoughts on this? Well, talk about a path back. Is there a path back for Kevin Spacey? And was this another bad step like Jonathan Majors might be taking here with this award? What are your thoughts?
I mean, no, there's no path back
for Spacey, even though he was found not guilty. He was acquitted on all the accounts from Anthony Rapp and the other people that actually got to trial. The other masseuse sadly passed away. So do you think there's no path, even though he's acquitted?
No, because I think his name is synonymous with creepy.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, it'd be one thing if it was like another serial killer role or Kaiser, so like a dark, like I could see some producers splurging on that for that hook.
Right.
You know, like, I mean, obviously this guy, you know, those are two of the greatest performances of the 90s, I think. And he won the Oscar for one of them.
Can't deny
that. The second Oscar for American Beauty. But I don't see a path back for him. It doesn't matter if he was found innocent or not.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of questioning around those verdicts. And
100%. Doesn't question. And someone Smithy saying OJ was also innocent.
That and that's the tricky thing where it's like, okay, Jonathan Majors was found guilty, but I do think that there's a path back for him.
Yeah.
But Spacey innocent, no path back.
Yeah, there were just 20 accusations along with the accusations from Anthony Rapp. That's a lot of people that you want to claim are just making these accusations out of thin air and trying to get money from you. Most people don't have the money to spend on court cases to come after you.
It's and this is the other fucked up thing, and I'm sorry to like draw this parallel between it, but it's like American audiences were okay with violence, right?
Right.
But we're not okay with sex. And it's the same for like these kinds of abuses where it's like, oh, they got, he hit a woman. I mean, how many football players, have we forgiven and things like that? Right. But if it's sexual in nature, it's kind of like a line crossing.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true. It's very true for most people. We have a presidential candidate with 30 accusations,
and neither is right. So.
One last thing. So we ended a little bit of a higher note, but a bit of a more serious story. So let's keep this to a few minutes, Jeff, because we got Streamlabs and Superchats to get to. But what's the deal with Skydance and Paramount? Sherry Redstone, shut this thing down now. What? I mean, everyone was crowing. You even said last week you thought this was going to go through. Now it's not going through. So what was the issue here? Deadline speculated on a number of issues, but what do you think happened in the end that made these talks fall apart? And now what's next for Paramount? Are they really just kind of redeem the studio to up the price and then go forward? What are your thoughts here?
I mean, this was a wild one, right?
Yeah.
This was like, you've got the condom on. It's lined up.
You paid for dinner?
No consummation.
Zero. Yeah.
And hey, you know what? You're allowed to change your mind.
You are.
So,
yeah.
I think that at the end of the day, she felt like she could probably get a better deal, or she wanted to give these three guys a chance to implement their strategy and make certain cuts and sell certain parts and see what they, make of it.
By the three guys, you mean Brian Robbins, George Cheeks, and Chris McCarthy.
Yeah, and I don't think that they're necessarily the answer. But I've also been skeptical this whole time about David Ellison. I'm forgetting who wrote it. Shit, I've read so much about Paramount lately, but it's just like Skydance doesn't make Paramount better. And Paramount doesn't really make Skydance better. So it never made sense. And as much as people were like, oh, no, we need Skydance to get Paramount because they're going to save the jobs and save the studio and all this stuff, right? And they're, we can't lose another buyer. To me, I always said that Sony is actually a better steward for the assets that Paramount has. Does it mean a lot of jobs lost? Yes. Does it mean one less buyer? Potentially.
Yeah.
But as far as like who's going to do a better job running what is there, I think Sony knows what to do with those assets better than David Ellison does.
Yeah. Yeah. Deadline said that they heard all the deal's economic terms were set, but other issues like seeking consent for the deal from a majority of the minority of shareholders, not named Redstone, was an issue. They also heard that Paramount may have found Skydance financials lacking and its valuation high because the deal called for Skydance to pay Redstone $2.25 billion outright for NAA, and then merged with Paramount in a deal that valued Skydance at $4.75 billion. And they also heard that both sides couldn't agree on how Skydance would operate the company through the regulatory process. So that's what Deadline is speculating in terms of what happened here. So I think at the end of the day, she came as close as she can come and then stopped right at the moment of consummation and was like, you know what? This is not the right thing for me. I don't feel correctly. I'm not ready to sign. We all do that. Like, you know, I almost bought a car 2 weeks ago. I went all 6 hours. I was in that fucking dealership. And then right at the end, I changed my mind because something was telling me it was not the right car for me all along. And it really became the louder the moment I was ready to sign the contract. Sometimes you just got to hear, you got to listen to yourself in those moments.
Yeah, dude. If you want to, like, you know, get it on back there in the back seat, you got to get a big ass car like a Jeep Cherokee.
That's not what I'm talking about.
You ever had sex in the back of a Volkswagen, John? It's not comfortable. It's not great.
No, I have in the Jetta, my old Jetta, and that was not comfortable. It's even less comfortable in the Prius. Let me just tell you that right now. Anyway, so we will see what happens with Sony, with Skydance, with Paramount, with all the different suitors. Maybe Byron Allen is back in the mix now again. We will see down the road. One last thing. Did you see Inside Out 2 or not?
What? You thought I was invited to a screening by the Disney company?
Maybe
no, I was not invited. No.
All right, I'll say real quick. Fantastic film, as good as the first movie.
I got the old John. I got the old. We're going through our screening list now to figure out who needs to see what.
Yeah, you got to follow up with that. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was fantastic. If you guys are thinking of going to see Inside Out 2, I can't recommend it enough. This is old school Pixar. Like, this is Pixar when they were hitting home runs with every one of their bats. This is what it brings to mind. The storytelling was tight. The performances were great. The new actors are fantastic. I've got a non-spoiler review coming out tomorrow, but I'll just tell you right now, this is one that I highly recommend you all go see this weekend for sure. Anything you've seen recently, Jeff, you want to recommend to people?
I want to see Inside Out 2 with my niece, though, because I'm going home, obviously, tonight. So if she's down, I'm down to give her all the Swedish fish and popcorn that she wants and take her to see that this weekend.
Awesome.
What have I seen lately that's good? Poof, not a lot. Yeah, it's been pretty. Did
you watch the shark movie yet? The Forget Under Paris?
No, I do want to watch that. I have been watching The Gentleman, which I've liked.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the series is good. Okay. I'm watching stuff nonstop, but yeah, it's been a string of one bad movie after the next.
I watched the first 2 episodes of The Boys. The new season is fucking excellent. And then I'll watch the 3rd one tonight, but that's one I highly, highly recommend as well. All right, let's take a quick break, Jeff, and then we're going to jump into our Streamlabs and Super Chats. This is going to be a long one, man. So I just want to make sure you're good to go for that.
Let's fucking go, bro.
All right, bro. We'll be right back right after this. Yeah, take that deep breath. All right, here we go. Streamlabs and Super Chats. Let's get it on. Where's the comments here? All right.
Jesus.
What's wrong? Are you okay? Are you okay? What's wrong? You okay?
I'm just fucking kidding.
Okay. Elusive Rocks. Still burning up. But I'm gearing up to start a Twitch channel soon. What games do you guys play? Lots of cool reveals last week, and also finally caught Midnight Run. Solid comedy. Yeah, Midnight Run's great. Games. Jeff, I don't think you play games.
I'm going to get you the one game that I play right now. You ready?
Go ahead. Oh, boy. Oh, my God. Please keep your pants on. Oh, my God. Good stuff.
Oh, you think you can take me? You think you can fucking take me on Cuba Truba Beach? I'd like to see you try.
Reminds me, we got to get high and play that game. All right. Yeah, I play usually sports games, but I do have Red Dead Redemption. I do have Ghost of Tsushima. I do have the Star Wars games and of course the Spider-Man games. But we're picking up some stuff coming up soon with the NCAA game. Definitely the NCAA college football game. I'm picking that up. The Way of the Ronin I'm picking up, and that new Assassin's Creed that's all samurai. I'm picking that one up as well. So suggestions there. And good luck on the Twitch channel, bro. Go get it. Go get it. We'll run
Midnight
into
Run,
it.
yeah, dude. Way to check that one out.
Brett Stevens says, first Juan Blum movie not at Universal. Lee Cronin directing for New Line. Did they not renew the deal with Uni? Would be a big get for WBNL, a New Line, if they jump ship. Thanks. Jeff, what do you hear about this?
I didn't read that story that closely. Was it New Line, not Universal?
Seems like that's what he's saying.
I'm surprised. No, but they're definitely at Universal, I believe.
Yeah,
I don't think it's like a jump ship situation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's Lee Cronin will direct and write a new movie for Atomic Monster, Blumhouse, and New Line. It's a total green light and the first collaboration between the combined companies helmed by James Wan and Jason Blum with Warner Brothers Motion Picture Group. Supposed to come out in 2026.
I like when the directors though put like the script page out and they cross out the title.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so you're just telling me you wrote a script. It says by, Lee Cronin or whatever. It's like, exactly. Okay, great. Thanks for this.
Great. Carlton Rudder says, London Calling. Inside Out 2 is 3 weeks until Despicable Me 4 comes out. Which movie do you see winning at the box office, and will either or both beat Deadpool and Wolverine? I think they both beat Deadpool and Wolverine, but I think Despicable Me beats Inside Out 2, just for the track record. That thing makes $1 billion, whatever it puts out.
I agree. I think Despicable Me will outgross Inside Out 2.
Yeah, agreed.
I still think Deadpool could beat both.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
You do? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. Carlton, let's see that. Thank you, Carlton. Lights, camera, super action says brooms are burning in Dallas. Anything to avoid a sweep and save face. Happily, Luca said the Warriors line. It's not over until it's over. Oh, Luca. You live on the second floor. Dr. Strangelove says it's generally can't be that hard to make a vampire killer movie. What is the deal?
I don't know.
Seriously, yeah. It's like when they got rid of Joss Whedon because he couldn't break the Batgirl movie. Like, really?
Again, it's because you're not just making a vampire movie.
Right.
You have so much other stuff that you probably have to service.
Exactly. Mike Joy says, Jeff, don't let the trolls get you down. You're far more accomplished than they'll ever be.
Thank you for saying that, Mike.
I tell you this all the time. Dallas says, hey, Jeff, do you still think Pattinson will be the DCU's Batman? Have you heard anything on the Brave and Bold? Do
I still think Pattinson will be the DCU's Batman? DCU's Batman?
I didn't know you thought that at all.
Right. I was like, people getting me hung up on questions here, and like I gotta like read between. I'm like, I think it's possible that he could be the DCU's Batman, but I also think he could be doing. I mean, that's not what I've heard. I've heard that it's gonna be a different Batman for Brave and the Bold.
Yeah,
and that they may even have their guy. I don't know.
Whoop. Okay,
I don't know. But no, I haven't heard any names as to who the new Batman could be.
Okay. Mickey Doss says, please, Jeff and John, give me some delicious Star Wars movies news. None of the shows, but anything for the big screen. Will John Boyega be a Jedi? I am on record as saying John Boyega will absolutely be back in the Star Wars universe sooner rather than later. He will absolutely be a Jedi. But I don't. I have one source that told me that, but I don't have any other sources on anything else. Jeff, what are your thoughts on the Star Wars thing? You got any news?
No, I don't. I know I'm going to owe you a steak dinner if he's back.
Yeah. You can't afford it after.
Well, good.
After the NBA Finals ticket, you're not going to be able to afford it till fucking next January.
I can't afford it. I can't afford this apartment around these four walls around me right now. And it's not Haunted Autumn. It's not a casual bomb. I'm not saying that James Gunn has found his Batman for Brave and the Bold.
Fair point. Okay.
Maybe a rumored.
Let's move on before you get in trouble. Steve McTee says, Chad Stahelski, John Wake, thanks for the clarification, said in January he would do Blade in a second. I think that's the guy. Chad Stahelski to do Blade. I mean, I like that idea. And at this point, they've clearly tried to get directors of color and black directors to be a part of this. But in the end, if they go with a white guy, I don't think I'd have a problem with it at this point.
What movie is he making next?
Chad Stahelski? Is it another John Wick film? Or is it the one with Charlize? I forget. What is it?
It's fucking Highlander, right?
Oh, that's right. The Highlander remake.
It's the same fucking thing. I mean, isn't it really? Like,
yeah, I guess you're right. It would be kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't see him with all the time that he's put in on that.
Yeah.
I don't see him jumping ship. And I feel like if he did go, again, this, unfortunately for them now, unless, the script comes in like amazing or whatever, I don't know who's going to write the new script, but like this project has a taint on it.
Yeah.
This project has a little stink to it now. And I don't think you're going to get someone like Chad Stahelski.
Chad has 11 projects in development that are listed on IMDb. 11. So I don't think you can slide Blade in.
Leech, as Yash says in chat, Leech is a better call because Leech is now hurting a little. If that movie lost $60 million for Fall Guy, right, and if Marvel appreciates his aesthetic, which they may or may not, but that could be someone who it's like, all right, dude, I gotta go fucking turn Blade into a hit because I'm down right
now. So someone said was Stephen Norrington White. No, he wasn't, and that was that time. We are much more aware and sensitive and conscientious now about respecting the fact that this is a black superhero. So now is not the 1990s. You may be surprised you're not the same person you were 30 years ago. So that's how it works in real life. So just there's
no question. I said Gina earlier because she's black, right? But at the same time, look at the Supergirl hire.
Right. Yes. Sure.
They hired a white guy. So like, you don't just because we all think, oh, it's Supergirl, they're going to hire a female director. Like, they're not always thinking like that, nor should they.
But they did hire a guy who has a strong track record of female-led films.
Of course.
In a way, they kind of walked that line between the two. So I think that was a factor in the decision-making process. Yeah.
Sure. I'm saying it's the same instinct, right? Where we're thinking, oh, Blade should be directed by a black filmmaker. Oh, Supergirl should be directed by a woman. It wasn't.
Right.
It's not going to be.
Yeah, fair. John Harlequin says, eruption question. James Patterson and Sherry Crichton said that actors were already being courted. Any idea of who? Also, any word on a script writer? So appreciative of what you guys do. Much love. Jeff. Then thank you, John.
I didn't know if Jimmy and Elizabeth would also write the script. Was that not in the article? I figured that they might, but you're right that they may have been looking just to hire someone to adapt it and that they're just attached to direct. I don't know. I haven't heard of any actors rumored. I've only read like 20 or 30 pages right now, so I'm not really qualified to be making casting suggestions at this point.
Okay.
It's certainly like a big project and package to keep an eye on, but at the same time, Bellany did a good piece on it, right? Like, obviously, this is a book that Fleming for his pal Shane Salerno, and I like Shane Salerno a lot. He sent me a lot of books that are next to me, right? Nice. He treats me right, Shane.
Yeah.
And he has his hands in like a zillion different pies, but like Fleming's been beating the drum for this book for years.
Yeah.
Setting the stage for this big auction and everything. And then Bellany kind of called him out and was like, we've been hearing about this big auction, right? Well, where's the deal? Where's the sale? And that's because Bellany's sources are saying this isn't the fucking 90s, guys. You've basically written, Michael Crichton has been gone for a while.
Yeah. James
Patterson, as much as I have 50 of his books right across from me, not the most like imaginative or creative guy. Right. So Bellany sources are like, it's not the 90s anymore. You can't just sell volcano movies like that are very basic. Like,
it's true. I think that's fair. And speaking of books, I want to give a shout out to Mark Raimondi in case he's watching. Mark, I don't know if you even watch our show, but in case you watch our show, I see that you've written a new book on the New World Order, the NWO of Wrestling. I would love to get a copy of it from Simon & Schuster and from you so that I could interview you here on this channel. I'm just making my plug now.
I saw that on Twitter the other day. That was cool.
Yeah. I wonder. I
got to get a book deal.
You do. Look, Ken Knapsack written a book. Jason Inman's written a book.
I don't understand how these guys do it.
They reach out to these people and then they write the books for
Brad, right? The boat.
The boat wrote a book.
Right, the boat wrote a book. I mean, everyone I know has written books. No one asked me to write a book.
I've been approached, but I've always said no because I don't have the time or the energy. That's the fucking truth.
Stuckman wrote a book. I mean,
Stuckman wrote a movie, for God's sake. Lee Mubai says, what happened to Destin Daniel Cretton's relationship with Marvel? Why are they having such a hard time hanging on to directors after so many years of success? Is that true? I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Why are they having such a hard time? I mean, isn't he doing Wonder Man?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's soured any relationship with Marvel. It's just that they didn't give him the Avengers job. And there will be a Shang-Chi 2 coming at some point. But yeah, I think he's quite fine with Marvel. I don't know what that means, to be honest. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I think he's fine, but I know what this person is getting at. But Destin, I think, is the wrong example.
Okay, all right. Tracer James 51 says, "Is Sony done with these Spider-Man villain movies? They seem to have gone quiet. Nothing seems to be coming after Venom 3. Any info?" I think they're just waiting for Craven to see how Craven does, don't you?
Yes, and I think Craven looks good. I've heard bad things lately.
Oh, about Craven?
Can you believe it? From the company that brought you Venom and Morbius?
Yeah, I mean, if Venom 3 and Craven both like are a 1-2 punch of shittiness, I think it's done. I really
Venom 3 again looked like the best one maybe so far, and and I do think Craven looks okay. So I'm not going to trash these movies because what I've heard doesn't align with my personal opinion. But I won't lie to you. Like I have heard that it didn't turn out so great.
Yeah, fair point. Turbo says Robert Eggers' Blade. That could be interesting. 4x3 in black and white.
Another vampire movie.
Yeah. Oh, good point. Yeah,
Nosferatu.
Al Rencha says I could see The Rock as Darth Bane or Malik. I don't think he'd take. Yeah, I don't think he'd do either one. Please stop.
Who the fuck are these characters? Like, dude,
Star Wars. It's Star Wars. He won't be
Darth Bane. I honestly had no. I thought those were Marvel characters.
Bane is the DC character.
Bane's DC and Darth Bane is, but I didn't. It didn't click for me. Star Wars, okay.
John Nicholson said, "What should be the next great sports movie? The next miracle, if you will. We haven't had one in a while. Who would you want to see do one? What's the most recent underdog great story? I mean, I don't know that there is.
That's a tricky question." Underdog sports movie.
I'll tell you this, if Caitlin Clark somehow wins the WNBA championship this year, they should absolutely do a movie on her, for God's sakes, for all the stuff that's gone on since she went into the WNBA. But I don't know that there's anything recent that I would think about as a miracle type movie. I don't know. Let's swing back on that, Sean, and let's hear from other people in the chat. See if they.
What about a pickleball movie? I mean, it's the fastest growing sport in America, right?
It is, because there's a lot of old people in America.
Could you get away with a pickleball movie and make it an inspirational sort of comedy?
Oh, Eli beating the Patriots. Oh yeah, absolutely. That would be a great movie. It would be fantastic. How the hell did you do it twice? I mean, that could be interesting because everyone hates, or I think everyone likes to root against Tom Brady except for us. Yes.
Right. So positioning him as like the villain who has to be defeated is kind of an interesting angle because everything that we see him in, he's portrayed as the god. That's actually not bad.
It's a built-in sequel with the second game. So like you've got a built-in two picture deal right there. Anish says, any confirmation on Danny McBride and the team of Righteous Gemstones writing Booster Gold? I haven't heard anything about whether that's confirmed officially. What about you, Jeff? Have you heard anything?
I heard that, like the Sean Levy Avengers thing, that was reported after they already passed.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Let me hit some of these.
But I didn't get any comment on that.
Okay. Let me hit some of these Streamlabs to balance things out. Here, where are we at here? Doofenschmerz says, anything on Michael Bay's Robocalypse? Oh, fucking hell.
Robopocalypse?
Yeah, there's a Robopocalypse. I rewatched the Transformers and gained new love for his over-the-top style. Thank you. Especially him directing Shia and Torturo turned up to 11. He's self-aware, right? Well, yes and no. I think it makes his movies more fun to think he is. Yes, I agree. You will enjoy the Transformers films more if you think he's in on what he's in on the joke of what he's doing, for sure. Have you heard anything on his Robocalypse? Whatever the fuck it's called. Jeff, have you heard
Robocalypse? No, I have not. I haven't really heard much on Bay, period, in a while.
All right. Fair point.
I mean, I still think he would be a fascinating get for Marvel or DC.
Oh, 100% agree with you.
And honestly,
100%.
more DC than Marvel.
I could see him doing a DC movie because I think James and Peter are going to let directors kind of off the leash a little bit. So I think it'd be really fascinating to see what he would do with a superhero film. Timothy Williams says, "G'day, blokes. This is a shameless tip to tell you it's my 40th birthday tomorrow. Hey, happy birthday, Timothy. Hope the Celtics win the title for Jeff. I was a big Reggie Lewis fan back in the day. Also, John, you know you're my man. Keep up all the great work. Love you, blokes. Hooroo." Absolutely, Timothy. Great to hear from you.
See, that might be like no one knows Reggie Lewis, but
Reggie.
like that's a great story.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's a good point.
I was at that game when he collapsed.
What? Are you saying that? Like 7 million people were at that game, even though
I was actually there. I was actually there.
Wow. All right. Orange Chicken Sneider Lover says, "Jeff, I hear you, brother. When are you going to get that fat dank burrito and burgers and grab a doobie, head over to John's, or vice versa, then smoke it up as we eat some dank ass food and watch a mystery movie and sleep over, bro?" There you go.
I definitely want to have a pillow fight with John because I would definitely turn that fucking zipper on the outside.
He would. He absolutely would. He'd like to scar me.
Catch him with that zipper. I remember that as a kid. Ooh.
Yeah, those were the worst. John, oh, you had zippers on your pillow? Oh, wow. You must have grown up real rich. John Rogan, George Lucas says, "John and Jeff, any word on the Batman part 2 and 3? Jeff,
you know what? I heard they're actually shooting 4 and 5 as well. No, I have no idea. But I told you guys, be patient because I don't think that anyone except for me and John knows what's happening behind the scenes.
That's true. Jeff Snyder, Sexy Boy, says, "Hey, y'all. Jeff, any word on who they are recasting for Kang?" The Rock. I don't know. Have you heard anything, Jeff? No. Okay. Yeah, neither have I. Darth Kennedy says, "What do you think Star Wars needs to do to get back on track? Acolyte is okay, and I hated episode 3 because it crapped on canon principles of the Force." It didn't. Darth, that is Osha's interpretation of what she experienced in that flashback. It is not 100% main canon. There are still 5 more episodes to go. Let that stuff go. Let the story play out, and you'll find out at the end. When series was announced, I was expecting a dark Sith story, and they have not delivered. I don't disagree with. It's not as dark as they said it was going to be, and it's a little CW in certain places that bothers me. So I agree with you, Darth, on that one. Jeff, anything you want to say in the Acolyte? I'm sure you have.
I feel like you got to take a fucking shower after that fucking nerdgasm. Jesus.
Guys, you don't understand. It's not like that. See, you gotta give it some time.
TY22 says, Ty22 says, "Have you seen the trailer to the Alexandra Aja Halle Berry movie, Never Let Go? Thoughts?" I did see the trailer. Jeff, did you?
Yeah, I saw it at CinemaCon. I thought it was interesting. I liked it. I mean, it's very much like, of A Quiet Place. It's like, we just redo A Quiet Place, but like find a different gimmick. And they're like, yep. How about they got to stay tied to a rope? Sold. Give me Halle Berry.
Yeah, I agree.
Good on the end of this rope. Halle Berry.
I like the trailer, but I agree with you. I can't escape the Quiet Place references and a little bit of the Bird Box references when I was watching that trailer. So yeah, I can see that. Let's see. Jay Barrett Mash says, "Hey guys, I just want to ask if you guys had checked out The Boys season 4, which just began dropping episodes today. I personally really dug it, but what do you guys think?" Jeff, do you watch The Boys? Is that a show you watch or no?
Fucking love The Boys, mate. But no, I haven't started it. I'm waiting to watch it this weekend with my brother because we all watch The Boys. The boys watch The Boys.
Hey-o. Yeah, as I said, I've watched the first 2 episodes. Fucking fantastic. And I'll do the 3rd episode tonight. I am doing watch-along reactions that I'll be dropping starting on Saturday for 1, 2, and 3, and then keep going consistently. We're going to review it tomorrow on the Geek Buddies, so look for us there on our show tomorrow, the first 3 episodes. So I'm loving it so far. Way to come back. I think it can take as long as they want if they come back with seasons like this. Just great stuff. Days to Come said Dwayne Johnson could do a venture joint film with Disney and Sony with a new version of Look Who's Talking before diving into a more massive production. Dude, I love that idea. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is John Travolta and Look Who's Talking, and you get, I don't know, Rebecca Ferguson or somebody to play the comedic role that Kirstie Alley played in that, and someone to voice over the baby.
Whoa. You think that The Rock would be Travolta?
Yes. Would you think The Rock would be the baby?
I think The Rock as the baby could be interesting.
No way. No way. He is absolutely the cab driver who is trying to help the woman. He's absolutely that. No way. You think he'd be the voice of the baby?
I could see Dwayne Johnson as the voice of Mikey. That would be interesting.
Randomly, I rewatched about an hour of the film the other day because it was on one of these channels I was flipping through, and that film still holds up. I don't care what anybody says. Kirsty and John, still good chemistry. Yeah. Bruce Willis.
It's amazing. John, it's amazing.
Are you saying that as a sarcasm?
I'm saying it dead serious.
Okay.
Look Who's Talking is an amazing comedy. I've seen it dozens of times.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Kirstie Alley is so hot in that movie.
No doubt.
She's incredibly sexy.
Yeah, dude. Agreed. That woman was...
John Travolta is sexy in that movie. Him
yes,
dancing around singing. Dude.
People forget. Like, that movie kind of kept him afloat until Tarantino found him a few years later for Pulp Fiction. So, yeah.
Abe Vigoda's perfect. that is such a great movie. And it should be remade. It's time.
Yeah, I agree. I do want to quick plug. Speaking of Bruce Willis, my friend Sean O'Connell has written another book. You talk about writing books, Jeff. Sean's been writing them consistently. He followed up his Spider-Man book with a Bruce Willis book that is out now for you all to buy on hardcover. It is called Bruce Willis Celebrating the Cinematic Legacy of an Unbreakable Hollywood Icon, and it's $32 on Amazon. But Sean's books are fantastic, and I'll be hopefully interviewing him in the next couple of weeks about the book. But yeah, highly recommend you all picking it up. Sean's a really damn good writer with these books, so just giving a quick plug for him. All right, let's see. Geeky Lawyer says, what projects would you like to see David Fincher take on? I would love to see him take on another series, given how great Mindhunter was. Yeah, I agree with that. Jeff, your thoughts?
Beverly Hills 90210. No, I'm kidding. What would I like to see Fincher tackle?
Fincher's 90210.
I'm going to get it for you right now. You ready? It's right here on my shelf. Stand up once more. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Look away.
You're beautiful. It's truth. Don't look at me. Okay, go ahead.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
I think he was going to do this at one point.
Oh. Oh, yeah. That could be interesting. Yeah, sure. Charles Burns' book, Black Hole. That's fantastic. I love it.
You ever read that one?
Yes.
So yeah, folks, for the those of you who don't know, it's like the kind of story where like genetic mutations and things like that are spread like STDs.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that would be an interesting commentary on sex today.
Sure.
And it's like just like a really dark X-Men almost.
Mm-hmm. Although we've seen a lot of films or series about people who have power, so it would have to kind of walk an interesting path on its own. And it's set in the 1970s, so would they update it? It's a good question, you know. All right, let's see. Jeff Snyder's Sexy Boy says, Jeff, you're going to love this, bro. I got baked and ordered pizza and watched The Crow for the first time. And it was fucking awesome, bro. I thought of you and thank you for the awesome recommendation. What happened to ambiance and aesthetic in movies, man?
Everything looks like a fucking Netflix movie these days. Just like everything has a TV aesthetic, I feel like.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, that movie visually is hugely influential. Proyas absolutely crushed it, and it's an incredible leading man performance from Brandon Lee. And we'll see what happens with this remake, or reboot or whatever with Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
The Cliff Dorfman, who wrote a draft of The Crow a while back, he put out a really nasty tweet about this.
I was just going to ask you about it because he deleted the tweet.
He deleted it, and I predicted that he would. I was like, "There's no way that this is up in like 4 days from now." So yeah, I had a feeling that was coming.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much stock you can put. I'm not saying like he obviously knows the crow as well as anybody, right?
Right, but he was also
most likely. But yeah, like it sounds a little like sour grapesy, like oh well, this isn't my version, and so yeah, it's tough. It's tricky. You should have me on the podcast though, Cliff. I'm down to talk to you about it, man.
There you go. Harrison Ford says, hey guys, this is Harrison Ford. I'm watching from my Cessna 172 plane, and I'm just saying I love you guys. You're beautiful people. Also baked and flying. I am going to land this thing. I promise you. Jeff, 4:30 may be our new start time because people are frisky at 4:30 as opposed to 4 o'clock. This is some fantastic Streamlabs and Super Chats we've been getting here. Pizza Patron.
Great.
Says, hey,
Jeff, maybe they heard the call.
Yeah.
Listen, closed mouths don't get fed in this town. Like,
it's true. It's true.
I think
Oh, yeah.
we put on a good show.
Yeah, we do. You're absolutely right. Hey, Jeff, bro, we would miss your Twitter if you ended up getting hired by a major outlet, man. Listen to John and stay independent, brother. They should make a screenplay about rogue Hollywood insiders. It could be Aaron Sorkin level, bro.
Listen, there may be gold at the end of this rainbow, a pot of gold, right? It's just tough. It's that you still have to journey to the other end of the rainbow, and that journey is expensive, and I cannot afford it. Okay, so it's like I know that if I stick with it, I could make more money independently than I ever did working for a company, but it's just, man, it's fucking tough. Going broke in the meantime.
You got to climb Mount Everest to get to the top, buddy.
Although going to Celtics finals games does not help. I had no choice. Like, I do think if it's your favorite team and you follow them as closely as I do, I mean, God, it's been how long since the last one, John? 16 years?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, 2008. 16 years.
Right. I told my other brother, I was like, dude, me and my other brother got tickets. And he's like, they win every year. Like, they're in the finals every year. What are you talking about? Why do you have to do that? And I was like, they're not. They haven't won in 16 years. It could be another 16 years.
Right. Well, maybe.
They'll be dead by then.
Oh, this could be the beginning of a new dynasty in Boston. We will see. Those two guys, that team looks fantastic. They didn't miss a beat without Porzingis, and that's scary. That's fucking scary. Alan Smithy says, sup, John and Jeff. Sup, Smithy. Just here to say I am the master of Mario Kart 64. I could lap both of you 5 times and red show your ass into oblivion. Yoshi rules. Also, is Megalopolis ever going to be released, or is it destined to be on Freevee with ads? Thanks. Yeah, Jeff, we haven't heard anything since the initial response to it there. Con, are you hearing anything more about Megalopolis distributing or coming out?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm asking frequently.
Okay.
And I feel like that is the kind of story that I have a chance to break, only because the trades will probably wait until it's a done deal. But at the same time, I know, obviously, Fleming was invited to that first screening by Coppola. Like, they go back a ways. I mean, I feel like it's either going to be me or Fleming or Bellany who gets that story.
Ooh, okay. All right, fair. Let's take one more break real quick, and then we'll jump in the last super chat so I can put in. If you guys will listen to us, we have a podcast. So if you don't want to watch our faces or you want to re-listen to certain things, you can go and subscribe to the podcast. We'd love for you to subscribe to the podcast so we could actually get some ad dollars for the show. So please subscribe to the podcast wherever you download podcasts. Just look up the Hot Mic with our names, and it'll be there for you all to subscribe to. But we'll take a quick break right here and then come right back for more questions. All right, Jeff, let's rip through these as you put food in your mouth. One last Streamlab here is from I Am Two Fly Cam. Says, hey, fellas, I love The Boys, but I feel the series is treading on rinse and repeat. I'm ready for a hopeful and bright Superman again. Also, when do we see a trailer for Skeleton Crew? I don't know if Jeff can speak to the trailer for Skeleton Crew. I imagine we won't see it until after The Acolyte is done. But
I agree. Like, and The Acolyte just started, right?
Yeah, 3 episodes.
So that's going to go through what, July?
Yeah, July.
And Skeleton Crew is supposed to come out this year, right?
Yes. So
yeah, you'll see a trailer in like August, September.
Yeah, it's usually how Disney does stuff, even with Marvel. That's how they do things. But yeah. And The Boys, I hear you. A lot of people are. I said this in my reaction to the first episode. Like, the blurring between fiction and reality in The Boys is really tough to watch sometimes because Eric Kripke is very clearly commentating on the MAGA movement there through Homelander. So it can be tough to watch at times when you want to feel like you want to escape from the shit that's going on in our world. Let's see here. Joel Davis says, apparently The Mandalorian and Grogu is supposed to start filming June 17th. Have you heard anything on this? Like in 4 days? Jeff, that seems wrong to me. Do you think that's true?
I am honestly not sure.
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to check in on that one.
Okay.
It wouldn't shock me given like the timing of like when I announced the Weaver thing, but it also seems like a little quiet.
Yeah.
So I'd be surprised if it was starting production next week.
Fair point. I would be too. Lee Mubai says Marvel needs to hire the Daniels ASAP. Probably. Jim One says, when do you think we will get news on a new Bond movie or casting? Also, what is your favorite Bond movie? For me, it's probably The Living Daylights. Jesus, I don't know. I think the Bond movie is casting is far away. Jeff, do you think it's imminent anytime soon?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Obviously Aaron Taylor Johnson is still in pole position. I have been watching The Gentleman though, and I do think, I wrote in the newsletter, Theo James really impressed me on that show.
Okay.
I mean, he was also on White Lotus. Like, I think he's been doing better work,
right,
in recent years, and he could be an interesting choice as well. Here's what I'll do for this podcast. As far as directors go, I wonder, like, I mean, there's still no word on what's going on there.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Is it going to be Nolan? Is it going to be Denis? Like, I don't know that it is. It's not the vibe I'm getting.
Okay.
Who do I think? I mean, I think that Edward Berger is somebody to keep an eye on, who did All Quiet on the Western Front.
That'll be fascinating.
And someone told me recently that I think this week he may have, and I never read into this. This is like, so much bullshit when you read into this, but like, heard he followed the official Bond Instagram.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So and again, his Conclave, that's going to be a Best Picture contender.
Okay.
I think that looks really, really good. That it's like a thriller.
Okay.
And he's supposed to do Bourne, and it's been a little quiet on Bourne. I mean, well, other than like, I guess Glenn Powell saying he had like turned it down or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just, and it's like, if you get offered Bond, wouldn't you leave Bourne in a heartbeat? Isn't Bourne just like Bond, diet Bond kind of like?
Yeah, there's more attention for that than there is for the Bourne situation. Do you know what I'm saying? So
yeah. So if I was him, I mean, and you got that offer, I think you'd jump ship. So I think he's someone to keep an eye on.
Okay.
And another person to keep an eye on could be David Michaud.
Oh, I like that. I like David Michaud. Those are kind of out of the box choices that I like. That could bring.
They're not that out of the box, though. It's like who
all the Quiet on the Western Front guy for James Bond is a little out of the box, bro.
Hadn't we talked about, like, wasn't the Blade director Yann Demange, wasn't he rumored for a Bond or no?
I don't remember that being a conversation we had.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Let's keep going because we're on a limited.
Okay. Sorry.
No, because I know you're gonna run out of energy real quick. I know you. The Flickin' Critic says, Jeff, you should give Peaky Blinders a shot. I feel like it'd be up your alley. I agree.
If time was infinite, I would, but like, you got to make tough choices in my line of work.
True.
I don't know, all those accents, and I'm watching. What am I watching right now?
Gentlemen with all those accents.
I'm watching The Gentleman. I'm watching the Spanish show Las Azules on Apple.
Ouch. It hurts me when you speak Spanish. Las Azules. Oh my.
Las Azules.
Cowboys fan I says, yo, John, I'm calling it now. Inside Out 2 is smacking $13 million.
There you go. Wait, real quick. The Ray of Water said Yann Demange was offered No Time to Die. Yes. So, like, I'm just saying, like, David Michaud is in the similar weight class to Yann Demange, I think.
Okay. Fair point. Cowboys fan says, yo, John, I'm calling it now. Inside Out 2 is smacking $13 million ass by the end of the third weekend. P.S. Damn you, Boston. I saw the new Garfield yesterday, and it was so freaking funny. I highly recommend it. Yeah, it certainly got a lot of positive reviews, the Garfield film, Jeff, surprisingly, from a lot of people. So I don't know if you got a chance to see it. It's not really your film, though.
Hold on. I'm making sure the computer doesn't die here.
Okay. Also, he's loving the accolades so far. Thank you, Cowboys fan 92. Appreciate it.
Okay, I did go to see the Garfield movie, but I took two little boys, and they were scared.
At the Garfield movie?
at the Garfield movie, and I understand why. The first, I mean, like you have like these tough talking, like London gangster, and it's like literally like just the colors. The colors of the animation. The first half an hour is a little scary before Garfield gets on the road, and so they started to cry and they asked to leave, and so we left.
Wow.
So I saw 35 minutes of the Garfield movie, and didn't love what I saw.
Yeah. Fair point. Okay. Haskell says, "Hey guys, since this is the hot mic, thoughts on Trevor Lawrence's 5-year extension worth $275 million? I did not even see that. $55 million a year with $200 million guaranteed and $142 million at signing. # stupid." Fuck, man. That is so much money, Jeff.
These guys are getting incredible. I mean, like,
he hasn't even sniffed an AFC championship, has he?
It's nuts how much money some of these guys make a year now. Like, remember, like, in the era when we grew up and, like, guys like Barkley or Ewing or Hakeem, you think that these guys were sniffing money like this? This is probably how much money they made in a career was $55 million.
I remember when it was a big deal to pay Jordan. What was it? Paying Jordan like $20 million for the year? Like people were going insane.
Right now, we're at LeBron making like $50 or $60 million a year.
Yeah.
It is insane.
It's madness. The quarterbacks from the 80s and 90s must look at these numbers and fucking want to lose their fucking minds, man. Sean Gardner says, are you guys ever gonna bring back the mobile pitch segment you used to do a while back? Yeah, when things slow down. I think that would be fun. A movie pitch. I should proofread next time, he says. Yeah, I suppose, Jeff, at some point when...
I'm down to hear more of your fucking crazy pitches, guys. I like that, so...
Yeah, we can add it as a segment for sure. Robert Giacinta says, do you need to watch Gen V to understand season 4? No, but I would actually say you don't have to watch it, but if you're cool having it spoiled for you, I would definitely say watch everything you need to know about Gen V before you watch season 4 video, or read the articles that give you a little bit of heads up, because they tease something in the first episode that is going to be a bigger plot line as the series goes on. So I would definitely recommend reading or watching something that gets you up to date on it if you don't have time to sit through the whole season. Wynn Edwards says the 2004 American League Championship Series, when the Red Sox came back and whooped the Yankees, would be a great movie. Fuck you. Fuck that shit.
I mean, that was pretty epic.
That never happened. It was a strike-shortened year, and Boston created a mass delusion amongst all of us that they somehow came back from a 3-0 deficit after we had whooped their asses 19-2 or some shit like that. Fuck, man. I will never understand how we lost 4 straight to that shithole of a team.
I think it's going to be like a weird sport, though. It may not be a traditional sport that gives us the next great sports movie. I think if they need to sort of look to the margins a little bit, because so much has like been done before.
Right.
And I still think, and people are going to call me crazy, but like, if you haven't gone to like a Jewish summer camp, I don't know if you know what it's like.
I've never been to a Jewish summer camp. No, I haven't.
Typically most Jewish summer camps end with this thing called Color War.
Oh, okay.
Which is, a week-long event where the camp is divided in 2. And somebody could make a movie about that week, and even though it would be so like, about like this insular world, I think the people who liked it would love it.
Okay, all right, there you go. A Jewish wet hot American summer is what you're saying.
I mean, Wet Hot American Summer is a Jewish summer camp, but the problem with that movie is, well, it's not necessarily a problem. I understand why they had to do it this way, but like it's co-ed.
Yeah.
I went to an all boys camp. There was no, like, when the girls, like, that's like an episode of a series, is like the social night episode when the girls come to town. It's like this giant cloud of perfume that comes down the hill.
I bet you went to an all boys Jewish summer camp.
Oh yeah, and when we went to the girls camp, Rocha, you'd get off the bus. It was like a fucking 3-hour drive to the girls' camp, right? You'd go once a summer, and as soon as you got off the bus, you just see lines of Jewish boys peeing in the woods.
Of course, because you're all like fucking hopped up from.
We'd all been on that bus for 3 hours. Everybody had to take a piss.
Yeah. Karen Vunder Maiden. Thank you, Karen, for the super sticker. What a great avatar. Look at that sweet smile of hers. Thank you, Karen. Very kind.
Karen, you single, honey?
You're single, buddy. You're not single, buddy. What are you talking about? Jesus.
I know.
Dallas says, "Hey, hi, Jeff.
Love you, Steffi."
Does DC still want to star for Lanterns? As for that tease about Gunn already having a Batman actor, does that come from a source you trust? Well, Gunn shot that down. So I don't think that's happening. But does DC still want to star for Lanterns, the Green Lantern series, right? So I would think so. Jeff, what do you think?
I don't know. Are people in the habits of making really expensive TV series without stars?
James Gunn said he rolled his eyes.
You need a bigger anchor than Finn Wittrock and Jeremy Irvine for sure.
I agree.
And Nathan Fillion too, for that matter. I mean, look at what they're doing with the Penguin. Like, that's Colin Farrell. That's like a real deal movie star. Exactly. As for the tease that Gunn already having Batman, does that come from a source that I trust? No, that's like fucking gossip.
Yeah, Gunn denied that 2 and 3 were going to be filming back to back of the Batman movies, and also denied that they were canceling Batman 2 with the eye roll emoji. So yeah. Bajado 3 said Shaka King / Judas and Black Messiah. Why no big films? Oh, Shaka King. That's a great choice for Blade. Holy shit. I love that idea.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good choice as well.
You want to keep Mahershala Ali on the project? You get Shaka King. I think that's 100% the way you go on that.
You guys know I drive around the streets of LA like a fucking maniac listening to the trailer music from Judas and the Black Messiah.
Look at that.
Bow down.
All right. Third to last one. 34 Virgo. Is Mahershala Ali being a diva on set? Is he complaining? I've heard nothing.
On set? What do you mean? There's no set.
Set.
He's not around. He's in his mansion. Waiting for a call.
Don Ronaldo McWhiskey says, "Ooh, I forgot to show support. Cheers, gents, catching the replay. Thank you, Don. We're still going.
Every time I see this guy's face, my heart warms.
Yeah, Don's got a great smile. Look at that.
He has a great smile and a great name, Don Ronaldo McWhiskey.
Yeah, it reminds me of Dom Hemingway every time I see
Obviously his real name.
Which is the better smile, Karen or Don?
I'm afraid to say, I'm afraid to say Karen now. You have me afraid to say Karen. So I'll say Stephanie has the best smile of all of them.
You have yourself to blame. 34 Virgo says, any news or updates on Gargoyles live action? Yeah, I haven't heard anything. And I know people who know.
Guys, John knows the Gargoyles personally.
Exactly.
And there's nothing going on with these Gargoyles. They're just hanging around right now.
Yeah, but the shark when you get out of the boat. No, I've interviewed Greg Weisman 3 times. I have friends who know Greg Weisman. I have not heard anything about a live action one or anything further on that situation. So I would have heard it in the wind, I think. All right, that's all the Streamlabs. I think that's all the super chats as well. Jeff, I think we're finally done. Thank you all so much for joining us.
You're not done yet. Everybody, take $100 out right now of your wallet. I'm kidding.
Because I don't want to get any more text from you. We're done. All right, thank you all so much for hanging out. We appreciate it. And thanks for everybody for the kind Streamlabs super chats today. Certainly you all showed up in big numbers. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. Yo, I'm trying to get to 50,000, dog. We get 10,000 views every week. There's no way 10,000 people have already subscribed to my channel. Subscribe to the channel, please. You enjoy the hot mic, you enjoy the content. Please subscribe down below and hit that bell button. And Jeff, where can they go and follow all the stuff you're breaking, all the news you're doing there every day on your newsletter, brother?
John, people are saying that you missed a question.
I missed one? Really? All right, go ahead.
Saying. That's what they're saying. I don't know.
No, I'm going to look right now. Keep going.
All right. Well, guys, you can find me at www.theinsneider.com. So many good scoops this past week. There may be one more coming tonight. I got to pack. I got to get to this flight soon, but I might be able to get one off under the wire. We'll see.
There you go. I don't see any that I've missed. I'm looking here.
You got them all, guys.
My bad. Tommy, fuck.
No, you got this one. We fucking got this one, bro.
All right. I'm sorry. I don't know where it went. So I apologize, guys. It was a Tommy Wiseau one, I think.
From Fred-tastic, they're saying a while.
Fred-tastic? Okay. I'm sorry, Fred. I don't see it. I'm looking right now.
Fred's obviously not with us anymore because he just asked us again.
Did he ask again?
I don't know. Fred, you got like 30 seconds here before
Fred,
we sign off.
throw it in, Fred. Throw it in. Well, if you guys know what it was, please throw it in.
Yeah, why didn't anybody say, oh, you missed one? What is it?
Yeah, Thunderbolts really. Thunderbolts. Was it really a Thunderbolts one?
Thunderbolts.
Oh, I see what's happening here. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on.
I think it's 20,000 others super chats that John's never read.
I took the star off of it, and so it moved it out of on accident, and not on purpose. On accident, I hit because sometimes when I'm clicking all of these, I sometimes will accidentally hit the star. Here we go. Jim won. I think this is him. Tommy
missed his flight. Let's go, guy.
Tommy Wiseau to direct Blade. He could also produce and write. Has experience on difficult productions, and best of all, rumored to be a vampire himself. Tommy Wiseau to direct Blade.
I'm trying to imagine Tommy Wiseau in a meeting with Kevin Feige being like, yes, I have experience on difficult productions. You may have heard of me.
Kevin. I don't think that would go over well. I don't think that would go over well at all. Here it is. Fred, sorry about that, brother. He said, Florence Pugh said Thunderbolts is finished filming. It's as if they're purposely mocking the outlaw, the hot mic rules. Yeah. Finished filming doesn't mean it's coming out, does it? We'll see what happens. Julia Louis-Dreyfus also said she was done filming her shots or her roles in Thunderbolt. So I guess it's happening, Jeff. Maybe I'm wrong. I guess we're going to see.
Marathon man today, baby.
Craziness. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Fred, for that. And thanks to everybody for the Streamlabs and Super Chats and for the lively chat throughout the majority of the show. We appreciate it madly. Jeff, again, what do you want to tell them where they we already did it, right? We already did it. Let's get out of here.
The Sneider.
There you go. All right. As for me, at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And as I said, Geek Buddies tomorrow, reactions to The Boys, all coming up over the weekend. Jedi Way review of The Acolyte, and also Doctor Who reviews with Mike Vogel there for the new episode that's dropping on tomorrow night. All right. Thanks, guys. We love you madly. We'll talk to you soon next week with another live episode here of the Hot Bike. Peace until then, and have a safe flight, Jeff. Bye.